Hey, basketball fans, welcome back to Tips and Streams, your go-to spot for the hottest NBA regular season predictions. I'm Kokan, and I'm here to break down today's matchups and give you the edge you need to make the best bets. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support means the world to us. Remember, our channel has no sponsors and relies solely on the love and support of viewers like you. Even a small donation by pressing the thanks button under the video helps us keep bringing you top-notch content every day. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and fellow basketball enthusiasts. And we love hearing from you, so drop a comment below and let us know what you want to see in our forecasts. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you the content you crave. Let's jump right into today's NBA predictions. We've got some exciting games lined up, so stay tuned and let's get that winning streak going. Today, we have predictions for 3 NBA games. The first prediction for today is for a game between the Charlotte Hornets and Detroit Pistons. All right, here's my take on tonight's showdown between the Detroit Pistons and the Charlotte Hornets. Now, the overall series is pretty much a coin flip. Hornets lead 66-65, but when it comes to home court vibes, Detroit's got it locked down. The Pistons have been stellar on their own turf, winning every head-to-head game so far and riding a 6-4 run over their last 10 games, including a flawless 5-0 in recent home contests. Even though Charlotte's gunning to even out the season series, stepping into the Motor City is always a tall order for them. Charlotte recently found a spark, especially after that nail-biter 117-116 overtime win against the Spurs. LaMelo Ball is back, and man, when he's on, he's a bona fide game-changer. His 35-point explosion last time reminded us exactly why he's the heartbeat of this team. And there's even talk of them getting Dalton Connect in the mix from the Lakers, which could add a fresh twist to their offensive flow. But don't get me wrong, the Hornets have some quirks to iron out. Despite knocking down nearly 47% of their shots in their previous outings and a scary 45.5% from deep, they also turned the ball over about 15 times. In today's game, every loose pass is an open lane for Detroit, so they'll need to tighten up. I still remember their earlier clash against Detroit in November. Charlotte started off hot, building a 33-27 lead in the first quarter and stretching it to 63-59 by halftime. They even went up 93-79 by the end of the third before seeing the lead slip away into overtime. Brandon Miller was the go-to guy with a monster 38-point game, but he's sitting this one out. That puts extra pressure on Ball and Miles Bridges to step up and carry the load. Both are more than capable, but they'll need to be in sync to counter the Pistons' physical play. Now, let's talk about Detroit. These guys have been turning heads lately. They dismantled the 76ers on Friday without even having Cade Cunningham on the floor, a true testament to their resilience. Malik Beasley was on fire, pouring in 36 points, 9 of those from deep, and Jalen Duren locked it down with a double-double of 13 points and 13 rebounds. Detroit's game plan has been all about efficiency, hitting roughly 42% from the field, battling hard on the boards, and forcing turnovers with some smart, aggressive defense. When you see them executing like that, it's clear they're not just relying on 1 or 2 plays, they're a complete unit. Here's the rub. The Hornets are abysmal on the road, sporting a dismal 4-16 record away from home. Sure, they managed a win in Detroit earlier this season, but that game was a low-scoring affair without LaMelo's usual magic. Meanwhile, the Pistons have been cooking up momentum, and under Coach J.B. Bickerstaff's steady guidance, they know how to exploit any sign of looseness from their foes. They're focused on dominating the paint, converting high-percentage shots, and grinding out those crucial rebounds could very well tilt the game in their favor. All in all, while the Hornets have the talent to light up the scoreboard on any given night, the road factor is a heavy weight on their shoulders. Detroit's fortress-like home court and disciplined play give me all the reasons to lean in favor of the Pistons. If they can keep up their aggressive defense and nail those mid-range jumpers, I wouldn't be surprised to see them not only secure the win, but also cover that 9-point spread. It's going to be a gritty, hard-fought battle with plenty of clutch moments, but I'm backing the Pistons to come out on top. Let's see if Charlotte can shake off their road woes or if Detroit continues its dominant run in the Motor City.
Welcome to BetUS, Sportsbook and Casino, your ultimate hub for secure and thrilling sports betting and casino gaming. BetUS is one of the oldest and most reliable online sportsbooks in the U.S., serving millions of clients all over the globe each month. BetUS, trusted for over 30 years, offers huge welcome bonuses, countless betting options, and many deposit and payout methods. Depositing funds is a breeze and safe, with a minimum deposit of just $10. Payouts are fast and hassle-free, beginning at only $50. Choose from various payout options like MoneyGram, couriered check, cryptocurrency, or bank wire. Signing up is quick and easy. For signing up, you can use the link in the description and enjoy a generous 125% welcome bonus of up to $3,000. By signing up using the link in the description, you'll also support us as we earn a small commission from your registration at BetUS. Thank you for supporting us. Join now and start winning.
The second prediction for today is for a game between the Toronto Raptors and Houston Rockets. All right, here's my take on the upcoming showdown between the Rockets and the Raptors on February 9th. Both teams are hungry to snap their recent slides, and if you ask me, there's a lot to unpack before tip-off. Let's start with Houston. The Rockets have been riding a rough patch, especially on the defensive end. Even though Jalen Green has been dropping 28 points and Alperen Sengun is pulling down double-digit rebounds while dishing out around 19 points a game, the squad's been leaving too many open looks. Dropping opponents' three-point percentages to around 38.2% in crunch time is a red flag in today's game. To add fuel to the fire, they're coming off a brutal stretch, a back-to-back scenario where they played their second game in less than 24 hours. That road trip finale against Dallas, where they lost by just a whisker, 106-105, shows the toll that tight scheduling takes. Historically, Houston has been shaky in these back-to-back situations, only managing to win 4 out of 10 and barely covering the spread at home either. It's clear that fatigue is starting to bite, and their defensive lapses could really hurt them against a motivated opponent. Now, flipping over to the Raptors, they've been on a 3-game skid recently, but have actually been turning heads with their defensive improvements. Over the last 10 games, they've logged a league-best defensive rating of 105.7, and they've been locking down the paint like nobody's business, allowing just about 44.4 points inside on average. They're also holding opponents to a stingy 12.6 fast break points per game. Sure, they're missing key pieces like Fred VanVleet, and Jakob Poeltl is still a question mark with a nagging hip issue, but there's a bright spot here. Toronto recently brought in Brandon Ingram, and if he can hit the ground running, expect some nasty mismatches for Houston. Paired with Scotty Barnes, who's been putting up around 20 points a game, the Raptors' offense has a nice little boost, especially given their slick passing, averaging over 30 assists per game with a 72% assist rate in their latest stretch. From a betting perspective, things get even more interesting. Sure, on paper the Rockets are favorites, but when you factor in their back-to-back fatigue and defensive struggles, they become a bit of a risky play. The Raptors, on the other hand, have been one of the season's best underdogs, consistently covering significant spreads. Remember their last meeting? They kept it close, losing by only 4 points. And with Houston's tired legs and defensive breakdowns, the edge might just swing in Toronto's favor. Rebounding is another key factor here. While Houston's frontcourt, anchored by veteran Steven Adams, has traditionally dominated the glass, Toronto's been holding its own, and that battle under the rim could be the difference maker. All in all, I'm not convinced Houston can overcome the double whammy of back-to-back wear and tear and their recent defensive issues. Even with all their talent, the Rockets might just find themselves outpaced by a Raptors squad that's been clicking on the defensive side and could be energized by Ingram's potential spark. In my book, it's smart money to back Toronto to cover that plus 10.5 spread. Expect a gritty, grinded-out game where every possession matters. I'm betting that the Raptors' underdog fire, combined with their recent defensive prowess, could not only keep it tight, but even pull off the upset in the final minutes. Let's see if Houston can snap out of a slump, or if Toronto will run the show in what promises to be a hard-fought, back-and-forth battle. Before we move on, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing might seem like a small action, but it actually makes a big impact for us. Plus, it's completely free for you. Have you clicked that subscribe button? Awesome, thank you so much for your support. Now let's dive back into the video. The third prediction for today is for a game between the Philadelphia 76ers and Milwaukee Bucks. Alright, here's my take on the Bucks. 76ers showdown this Sunday. It's gonna be one wild ride. The Bucks have already stamped their authority over Philly this season, winning both head-to-head matchups and outscoring the Sixers 123-105 overall. Milwaukee's been on fire lately, going 8-2 in their last 10 games and turning their home court into a fortress, especially against Philly. They even handed them a 123-109 drubbing not too long ago, and that's something to remember. On the flip side, the 76ers have been struggling to find their rhythm. Their last outing against the Pistons was a mess, just a night of missed shots, bad rebounding, and even some sideline drama between Embiid and Oubre that really threw off the vibe. Sure, Tyrese Maxey lit it up with 37 points, and Oubre and Ricky Council four-chipped in with 19 and 13 respectively, but the overall efficiency was off. Philly hit just about 45% from the field, and their long-range shooting was even worse at 35%. Free throws were nothing to write home about either, and they got out-rebounded 48-38. With Embiid out for that game due to injury, though there's a good chance he'll be back on Sunday, the Sixers are in desperate need of some stability. Milwaukee, meanwhile, has been smart about bolstering their roster. Bringing in Kyle Kuzma from that Washington deal gave them a versatile piece who can score, rebound, and even lock down a player if needed. And with Damian Lillard back in the mix, dropping 25 points in his return, the Bucks have that extra edge on offense. But here's the kicker. Giannis is still a question mark. He sat out the last game against the Hawks, and whether or not he subs his chance to play this Sunday could change the whole complexion of the game. When Giannis is in the lineup, the Bucks can put up 34 points in a hurry, though he did struggle a bit at the free throw line last time. Without him, though, Milwaukee might lose that explosive factor we've all come to expect. From a tactical standpoint, Philly's got to clamp down hard on Milwaukee's transition game. They need to slow things down and force the Bucks into half-court sets where maybe, just maybe, Embiid can work his magic. But until they can dominate the boards and tighten up their defense, Milwaukee's going to keep dishing out second-chance buckets. Maxey needs to keep turning up and hitting those big shots, and the Sixers overall have to be more disciplined if they want to close the gap. Now, if you're looking at the betting lines, here's where it gets interesting. The Sixers have been one of the worst teams against the spread this season, while the Bucks, despite a recent skid covering their spread in their last 6 games, have a much better record at home, 16-8 overall versus 10-15 on the road. So, if Giannis is suited up and ready to go, I'm all in on the Bucks pulling off another dominant performance. But if he's on the bench, the dynamics change completely. Without that dynamic playmaker, expect the scoring to dip and the game to turn into more of a grind. In that case, I'd lean toward the total points staying under the 227 points. At the end of the day, it all comes down to health and execution. Milwaukee's got the weapons, Kuzma, Lillard, and hopefully Giannis, to run the floor and keep Philly on its heels. But Philly's got to find a way to rally around Embiid, cut down on turnovers, and start controlling those boards. Both teams know what's at stake, and they're itching to leave everything on the court. I'm pumped to see how it all unfolds. This game has all the makings of a classic, packed with gritty defense, explosive offense, and plenty of late-game drama. Just keep your eyes on the injury report. If Giannis is in, you can bet the Bucks are set to roll, but if not, be smart and watch the totals. Either way, it's gonna be a barn burner.